Welcome to Pickleball Live inside the Pickleball TV studios in Santa Monica, California. Danny Clevenger, joined by the PB squad themselves, Matt Manasse, Kamryn Blackwood. Matt, how are you feeling being sandwiched between two blondes here?
Thorn between two roses, as they say. I know normally when you're on a pickleball court, there's some high noons and alcohol around. Not today at Pickleball TV, but we'll get through it.
You know what? That's called a camaraderie coordinator, and I take that job very seriously on the pickleball court, okay? But yes, we're here to learn a little bit more and talk about everything we've seen in the PPA finals. This is a fun event. You've got the top players across all 5 disciplines. Was there one discipline you were most looking forward to seeing?
Yeah, first of all, I want to react to that match that we just saw. Dekel Christian Alshon taking out the #1 seed in the world, the Johns brothers, up 11-1, 5-1, and then just could not get it done, so that was insane. But men's singles, 4 new players in the world coming into this top 8. I wanted to see how the Tyson McGuffins and the Ben Johns of the world would hold up, and it's been an exciting event so far.
Yeah, and piggybacking off of that, we had 5 in the women's that was new. But what bummed me out is I don't think we're really seeing the true draw, per se, when you have Leigh Jansen out, you have Brooke Buckner out, you have Salome DeVite. So a lot of injuries kind of took that away from what it could be, I think. You still have, of course, Leigh Waters, who's just cruising right through. Once again, she did mention her knees bugging her a little bit, so we'll see if that hinders her throughout the week. But I think it's been great so far.
Something we'll continue to pay attention to. Now, if you're not familiar with the format of the PPA finals, let's remind you about how exactly this works. It is the cream of the crop, the best of the best. Top 8 women and men in singles and mixed. Top 16 gender doubles players. We've completed already 2 days of pool play. Tomorrow, we're going to find out who's going to punch their ticket into the semifinals. The top 2 players and teams from each group are the ones that will advance, and then the finals, of course, will take place on Sunday. But let's talk about what we saw on day 2 here. Big
against Conor Garnett and did not start out well. The foot speed, the movement around the court, the signature two-E, that two-handed backhand down the line, unbelievable for Conor Garnett. Ben did put up a fight in game 2, up 9-7. But again, Conor Garnett, this was his only discipline here. He was going to be here and stick around. He wanted to get to 1-1 and move on to semifinal play if he can take out Tyson McGuffin tomorrow. And he got it done, taking out Ben Johns' massive win in San Clemente.
Huge deal. Ben Johns eliminated from the semifinals. He's the defending men's singles gold medalist. That's impressive there as we take a look at where the standings are. Tyson McGuffin, you mentioned him. Birthday boy today, turning 35 and 2-0 right now.
Correct. Coming into this, if you would have told me Tyson McGuffin could potentially be a #1 seed on semifinal Saturday, I would have told you you're crazy. 35 years old, playing his best pickleball. On the flip side, Federico Staksrud, #1 in the world, 2-0. Obvious start from him. Great win today over Hunter Johnson, but that match to watch out tomorrow, Hunter Johnson, Dylan Frazier, the winner of that, moving on to the semis. I'm taking Hunter Johnson in the recent form.
Ooh, already picking a winner. We'd love to see it in the hot seat, Matt Manasse. All right, let's turn to women's singles, shall we? Because Mary Brasha in the field today due to Leigh Jansen being out of this tournament, and a nice little upset, Cam.
Yeah, she said, I'm happy to be here. This is where I'm at home. I got the home crowd behind me. But something about Mary, her movement really surprises people, and she can really strike the ball really well. Going up against Catherine Parenteau is her anticipation. As you see, a lot of frustration on the side of Catherine Parenteau, but it was Mary Brasha who, in the end, just really took it to her. A lot of confidence there, and she said, I'm just happy to be out here. We should be dancing. We should be having fun and laughing. This is pickleball. So I'm really happy to see Mary Brasha now 2-0 in the draw.
Love that celebration, and not surprising whatsoever to see Leigh Waters there at the top, 2-0 on the ATP pool side. Any big surprises here for you, Cam?
It is. I see Caitlin Christian 2-0 taking out Catherine Parenteau. I am shocked to see Catherine Parenteau 0-2. I kind of think that's the biggest one there, but also Kate Fahey. We saw her. She's been making a name for herself. She's taken out Paris Todd twice in the 2 times they've met. Paris taking that one, almost eliminating Kate.
Yeah,
we'll see how tomorrow plays out.
Why is that so surprising?
Kate Fahey coming in was the player to watch, really storming through this year. Before the year, only 6 months ago, started pickleball on tour. Now is a top 8 player easily. We expected her to make a final here, losing to Paris, essentially eliminating herself. Lacey Schneemann potentially going 0-3, and Leigh going 3-0. We're not going to see Kate Fahey most likely come semifinal Saturday.
So surprising. Won 3 gold medals in the last few months. She was definitely the one that was on fire. So interesting shakeups here early on. On the men's side as well, though, Cam, because you had someone that you thought would be one of the front runners here and now out with injury.
Yes, I don't know how significant the injury is, but Kwang Duong, he is out. We no longer have him in here. He was supposed to play Tyson McGuffin. Tyson ended up beating Pablo Tellez. I don't know if that would have been the case if he was playing Q. He's been making it to finals. He's been winning not only in the singles, but he's been winning in men's doubles. He's been looking well in mixed. So that was someone that I was disappointed to see get knocked out. But Tyson McGuffin, we asked him, we said, how much longer are you going to be doing this? I mean, everyone loves the most electrifying man in sports. He said, you know, maybe give me 1 more year in singles than 4 to 5 in doubles. But I hope he sticks around for a very long time.
I bet he extends that 1 year to 2 or 3 years.
That
You know,
Ferrari
Tyson McGuffin
was flying
insane today.
35 years young.
Yes.
Okay, everybody 35 years young. Guy's not going anywhere for right now. Let's get to what happened on the women's doubles court. No secret who the favorite is in the women's doubles with the duo of Anna Leigh Waters and Catherine Parento. They won 127 of their last 130 matches, Cam, until today.
Until today. And we've never seen them tested unless it was the girlies, unless it was Rachel Rohrabacher and Anna Bright. We haven't seen anyone test them at all. It was all Waters and Parento here in game 1, 11-3. And then you have Georgia Johnson, Lacey Schneemann. We talked to Lacey afterwards. She said, I wasn't giving Georgia enough space. I wasn't crediting almost her side that really she can create on her own. She can finish on her own. So once they kind of talked that through, talked it over with Georgia Johnson, Georgia's mom there, really figured out a game plan that was going to work for them. You then started to see them really gel, push them back. They were controlling the kitchen line there. A huge win for them. They are now 1-1, and so is Parento's and Water. Did not expect that at all.
The fact that that's the first time that they've played together and they pull off an upset like that, as we take a look at where the standings are right now for this women's doubles division, anybody else popping off the page to you as a favorite?
Yeah, absolutely. You have Pisnik and Todd there. They are not a doubles team that usually play together at all. So for them to come in, I really like that, though. Paris loves the right side. Tina Pisnik loves the left side. I think it's very complimentary pickleball. You have some fire. You have a lot of consistency on that side. I mean, for them right now to be 2-0, and then you see Waters and Parento down there in the 3rd spot right now, it's something I would not have expected or bet on at all.
Not something you expected. That means there's upsets, right? Lots of upsets happening in San Clemente, and it happened on the men's doubles side as well. Matt, you mentioned it at the top of the show. We just saw it happen. Colin and Ben Johns facing Deckel Barr and Christian Alshon.
Yes.
What happened?
First of all, no love lost between Christian Alshon and Colin Johns. We know that. This was supposed to be a rout, and it was going to be a rout up 11-1, 5-1. You see the score 11-1, 4-0 here. But the turnaround started. You saw Christian Alshon doing so much in the middle. Deckel Barr has been a huge force, the hand speed. They started really picking on Colin Johns, I thought, especially his hand speed. He got very frustrated as this men's match went the distance, complaining about the ball, complaining about the air conditions, really just complaining about anything that was going on around him. And you saw Ben Johns get frustrated as well, throwing the paddle, just not handling it the way the #1 team in the world should. But kudos to Deckel Barr, Christian Alshon, moving on.
Let's check out the standings here. Look, I was able to sit next to the both of you while you're sitting here watching that match taking in. A lot of wows and oh my's going on. Why was that so shocking?
I mean, the Johns brothers have been the most dominant team this year. Yes, they've faltered here and there, but I expected them to roll through it. And when they're up 11-1, 5-1, they're a front-running team and can usually just trample you after that. But what surprises me on the board here is McGuffin and Diescu. McGuffin hasn't been playing that great on the doubles court, in my opinion, this year, but Diescu just makes everyone around him better. So for them to be 2-0 and easily moving on to semifinal Saturday is massive.
Well, to piggyback on our conversation, we're going to welcome in now the voice of pickleball, Dave Fleming, who is standing by to join us live from San Clemente. Dave, it's good to see you. What has stood out to you the most from day 2 here at Pool Play?
Well, San Clemente became upset city. You got to be kidding me. I mean, Lacey Schneemann out of her mind today, and I thought they only lost to 1 team, not anymore. So that was stunning. And then you guys just talked about it. How can the Johns brothers blow an 11-1, 5-1 lead? Well, we had a couple delays. We had duct tape gate, and that really helped the boys to get through that. And then the last thing, folks, is who the heck knew I needed to bring hand warmers to Southern California? It is chilly here, and that's changing the way the game's being played.
And speaking of that, I just want to talk about the atmosphere there because it is chilly there. We are seeing players fully dressed up from head to toe there. But just it's a little bit different, right? We only have about 40 players there. We don't have hundreds walking around. It's the end of the year, but yet it's the most important tournament. What's the atmosphere been like there for the players that you've seen?
Yeah, I think the players know that this is a great way for them. It's best on best. Let me put my stamp on the 2024 season that I've had and show everybody that I can indeed run into 25 with all of that. The other big thing here is that these points are extra. So this is a place where you can get points that none of the other competitors who didn't earn their way here, and that could be big next year for your rankings and just the seeds, because who you play in all of these tournaments matters. You do well here, you're carrying a lot of extra credit. If you're the kid that raised their hand and said, teacher, teacher, I want to write that extra essay, this is the place to get that extra credit.
Dave, I got to ask you about women's doubles because you talked about the significance of the event there. Catherine Parenteau, Anna-Leigh Waters losing again. In your mind, what's the issues going on in that partnership, and is that something that may end in 2025?
You know, it's wild to see what happened here today because you don't see those two befuddled as much as they were. And Anna-Leigh was put in awkward positions consistently by Lacey Schneemann and unbelievably steady play by Georgia Johnson. So I don't think this is going anywhere. They've lost 4 times out of 4 million. That's a pretty good record. But we are going to keep an eye on that. And what's wild here is get your calculators out tomorrow, because could there possibly be a semifinal between the girlies and AL and CP based on where they end up in the standings? So that's going to be very interesting to watch tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to be great because all of the matchups we're going to be looking at is 1 versus 2 in the pools, and we'll see where this all comes out. But this was bonkers today. We knew best on best would get our best pickleball, and man, did we ever get that here today.
No kidding. Huge day of exciting action. Dave, we appreciate you joining us. Can you please go find yourself some hot chocolate?
I need marshmallows in there too, so I'm going to go get that done right now.
And not the whip. Don't forget the whipped cream. Whipped cream's the best part, right. Okay? Don't sleep on the whipped cream. Thanks, Dave. We appreciate it.
Will not.
Coming up, we are going to talk more about Anna-Leigh Waters, who started the year at #1, continues to be at the top of the sport. The 17-year-old had a dazzling Triple Crown run last year at the finals. We're going to look back next on Pickleball Live. Back here on Pickleball Live, we talked to men's and women's doubles. How about some mixed doubles, Matt?
Yeah, and Ben Johns losing in singles this morning and being eliminated. What Ben Johns would show up for mixed doubles. It was clear early on that the movement, court coverage from these two were on par with what we're usually used to, rolling through Rohrabacher and Staksrud. The chemistry, the comfort in which they move together, communicate together was on full display. Everything was bouncing in, and you see Anna-Leigh with the close. These two move like clockwork, and I don't expect it to end anytime soon. It's certainly not in San Clemente. Ben took so much through the middle. Anna-Leigh, you see coming across there, but too much power from Ben Johns in the end. Sorry, Rachel Rohrabacher, Federico Staksrud, #1 team, moving on 11-9, 11-6, and should move on to semifinal Saturday, but I expect another win tomorrow.
Rohrabacher and Staksrud fall to 0-2. Waters and Johns advance to 2-0. That means 4 pairings are 2-0, so big implications in tomorrow's action. But Anna-Leigh Waters has actually won 44 mixed doubles titles, all with Ben Johns. And in fact, that's not the only title she won last year at these finals, right? She secured the Triple Crown, and she's trying to do so yet again, just like she did a year ago.
Catherine Parenteau closes it out. Parenteau and Waters complete the perfect season. Anna-Leigh Waters takes the gold at the CIBC PPA finals. Waters and Johns close it out. Christmas came early for the top-ranked team in the world.
I really wanted to end the year on a triple, kind of end on a high note.
She's just 17 years old. It's absolutely remarkable, the accolades she's been able to rack up so far in her young career. 29 Triple Crowns, 9 just this year alone, 127 titles overall, and she is the best in all 3 disciplines. Matt, for people that don't understand Why and how is she so dominant?
I think people usually look to technique and just, oh, is it natural-born talent? But it's like the footwork and the effort she puts in, day out. Her footwork is better than anyone else on tour. I also think her mental strength and ability to just want it more than everybody else is still a couple levels above, and it's clear she's the most dominant player on tour.
She has gone 56 straight tournaments, medaling in at least one of them. It is unbelievable, the run that she has been on. Can you talk about just how impressive this dominance is, and has she reached her top pickleball game yet?
No, she definitely hasn't, which is terrifying for the rest of the women out there. We talked about it with her a little bit earlier this year. We just said, you know, how are you feeling? She goes, this is the best I felt. And usually players by the end of the year are feeling hurt, they're feeling tired, they're just wanting next year to come, and not her. She's ready to keep moving forward, keep getting better, and I do think once she hits that early 20s, even into her mid and late 20s, we're gonna see her get stronger, we're gonna see her get faster, put on a little bit more muscle, and for her to add that strength behind her shots, behind that footwork, she's still gonna dominate, in my opinion, until her mid to late 20s.
She's a great team around her. Her scheduling has been perfect. Other players get tired, but she takes breaks at certain times of the season, gets motivated again, gets healthy again, and that's why I think the longevity is going to be there.
Yeah, I really just think, like he said, having that expertise right off the bat, like she's only 17, she's only going to figure it out more and more. She's ahead of the game already versus these other players coming in, kind of like an Anna Bright. I don't think she's taken one tournament off this entire year. I mean, it's same with Fed too, but they just want to play, which is great for now, but long term, can they sustain that? Can they sustain their body, mental, physically? I don't think so. She's doing it the right way.
Well, you guys are talking about the longevity, and you're talking about her mid-20s. She's 17 years old. What was the type of improvements you saw just from last year when we saw that Triple Crown win to this year?
Yeah, I really think her footwork's gotten better, but I think her strength too. She said, you know what? I took a little bit of weight off my paddle. That's something she really talked about that helped improve her game. I know it sounds silly, but you take an ounce off here or there, it can really make all the difference. I also think too, she has really improved in her short drop shots cross court, kind of really coming in a little bit differently. And I think finding everyone she plays is a little bit different. She talked about playing Paris Todd today. She goes, I'm learning on the fly. It's going to change from game to game, my strategy. And for her to know that at 17, the knowledge she's going to have as these years go on is just unmatched.
She didn't have many holes before this year started, but the ones that she had, she shored up. The forehand, I think, was a little bit, not a liability, but a weakness in certain moments, in certain situations. She shortened that swing up. It's more compact. She gets more power off of it. I think the serve, she's had a lot of different elements there, different lob serve, spin serve. She's always willing to try new things. So it's been very impressive just to see the creativity out of Anna Leigh Waters.
As a coach, it's your job to find the holes, right?
That's right. There's really none there, to be honest, and it's scary for the rest of the field. There's going to have to be new players, young players, like we see on the men's side. Hayden Patriquin has been playing pickleball since he's 11 years old. He never played tennis. You're going to see that on the women's side for players to come in, learn the game from a young age, develop like she did. That's going to be the types of players to take her out. It's not going to be a tennis player coming in that's just learns on the fly.
And I think it's so funny that they're going to be learning from someone who turned pro at 11 years old. I mean, in what other sport are you really saying, you know what, I mastered my my entire pickleball game over a girl who turned pro at 11 years old. But the career she had, of course she would. Everyone does. I mean, she makes those shots, you want to make them too. She's training this way off court, you want to train this way too. I mean, and I think her mom has a lot to do with it too. I think her mom has just watched the game so much, she knows the players so well, so she can make those little tiny adjustments there, feed them right to Anna Leigh, and she can execute immediately.
Speaking of making adjustments, if you wanted to make some adjustments to your game, see this guy right here. He's dressed all snazzy. He's the coach of the Stars. He shops at Air One, and he's going to give you a free lesson on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere if we're breaking out the paddles.
You're getting the lesson Haley's way.
Ooh.
Haley's way.
He loves the Hailey Bieber smoothie.
Coconut whipped cream on that?
Oh, yeah.
The new Pickleball TV app is here, streaming every tournament, every court, and every match live and on demand, plus other exclusive content. So get your free 30-day trial subscription today. Scan the QR code or visit PickleballTV.com for more details. Let's take a look at what's to come here on the pickleball schedule. Daytona Beach Open is what's up next, December 18th through the 22nd. Then, of course, you've got the Masters in Rancho Mirage, California. Australia Pickleball Open, January 28th through February 2nd. Remember, if you want the complete schedule, you can visit the ppa.com/schedule.
I'm Matt Manasse, a.k.a. Pickleball McNasty, coach of the Stars.
You are the pickleball instructor of the Stars.
That's
you know,
what they
so
say.
I feel like there's a lot that I could lean from you. So
I mean, there's so much to work on, but you know an overhead? Give me one of them. Money. I love that. Now we just gotta control it. Do it right slowly before you progress to trying it fast.
come on.
Thanks for coming out, man.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, it is demo time, and today we're going to work on the return. A quick 5-minute segment. Our producer, JC, thinks we're going to go 20, but let's go for the return. First of all, why is it so important? The server cannot serve and volley. They have to let one ball bounce, so we want a deep return. And in order to do so, I want to give myself a little bit of space behind, let's say this is the baseline.
Okay.
Why, Cam? Because, well, first of all, if I'm standing on the baseline or inside the court and you hit a serve at my feet, I am screwed, right? But if I'm behind this baseline, it gives myself a little bit of time to adjust, maybe do a big serve, and it does a couple other things. It gives me momentum to come forward, and with my momentum coming forward, I'm gonna be able to get to the kitchen line fast and also get a deep return, and I wanna keep my opponent deep, so my partner and I, or even in singles, I can just push them back.
And I know there's a lot of different grips or different ways that we can return. Top spin, hitting through it flat. I personally like the slice here. Which is the best way to hit the return?
For me, there's no best way, but there's a way that works for each person individually. For me, if you're facing a lot of topspin big serves, which there are today, I like more of a flatter return coming through. I think it gives me more paddle face on the ball and get square through it. Go ahead, Cam.
You ready?
Don't go too quick. Come on now.
Don't be scared,
Slick
Matt.
here at Pickleball TV. And I want to go straight through it just like that. I think I'm in the kitchen there since it's a little short here.
Coach to the stars.
But Cam, you like to do it the wrong way. No, the other way.
The best way.
A little bit of
Best way.
slice. And why is that?
For me, if the opponent doesn't have such a strong ground stroke, maybe their footwork isn't that good, to get underneath it and really get that wrist mobility to hit it back over, sometimes I can find a lot of the thirds coming back in the net. So to me, it's just very comfortable. I like to also slice on my backhand as well.
I'll give you a forehand slice. How about
Perfect. You want to follow it all the way through, giving it that
Beautiful.
nice slice.
Beautiful.
I'll teach you later.
I love it. And then obviously there's targets
Where
on
am I
the return.
hitting this? We have it down.
Singles, I want to make someone move. I want to get
Okay.
into a corner. That's the basics. Doubles, obviously go to the weaker player. But again, in singles, someone like a Jack Sock, maybe you go into his forehand to open up the backhand. There's all different little technical things you can discuss, but really just go to the weaker player, make someone move, and get to that kitchen line.
Let's say I'm Annalie Waters, though, and you're giving me a lot of angles. You're hitting to my forehand, and you're coming in, opening that up. If someone is really good teeing off, like an Annalie Waters, where would you suggest that return
Yeah,
go?
deep down the middle. And why is that? It doesn't give them a lot of angles. It forces them to move out of the ball. A lot of people move great laterally, but maybe not back or surrounding the ball. So if I can get it deep down the center, close that kitchen line, I'm in a great position.
Well, with that, let's go ahead and get Danny on in here because we want to see if the coach to the stars.
I'm shagging balls.
Of course, that's
With
your
my
role
happy
here,
face
Danny.
Paddle. All right, let's do it.
So we're going to serve, and he's going to try and get, I don't know if you
right.
guys remember last time there, but he has a really tough time trying
this
to
is
make it into
tough.
the bucket.
Because my returns are line drive, you know, it's going to be tough.
Okay, yeah, a lot of talk here.
Oh, I was going to say one and
Get
done.
on that.
That would have been impressive and worth the money, the pretty penny that
I would have
people
been like,
pay
send
him.
us to break.
Yeah, no
Kills
kidding.
me.
All right, let's get it in. Oh, that's awful.
Oh, rough. Okay.
Did I just go
that's-
one really hard to Danny, see if she can catch it?
Sure,
sure.
No,
why
I
not?
got
She got
to
skills.
I got to get one in. There we go.
Oh, no.
Danny,
we
shag
got-
the ball.
I'm shagging.
All right, so that's a 0 out of 3. Cam, you're up next.
let's go,
I'll give
Cam.
you a couple. I'm gonna make the serves really hard as the.
Come on, come on.
Are you
Are you just
slicing
trying
them?
to give her an excuse?
No. I got. Look, easy serve.
She was going
Okay,
right
take a
for
little.
it.
Okay.
I'm too strong, Matt. You wouldn't know
just
anything about
calibrate,
that.
calibrate.
You wouldn't know anything about that.
Oh, it's coming.
Okay.
Okay,
And now
let's
I
see.
just need to angle it. It's okay.
We don't know what we're doing apparently on Pickleball Live. Okay.
Oh, so close. So
All right.
close.
Come on over.
Danny,
Oh.
Danny, we got to get you over there.
We got
Come
a chance
on
to
down.
go.
You're
All
not
right.
just a ball shagger.
Show us how it's done, please.
If I get this and you guys didn't,
I
that'd be
know.
great.
Oh,
Oh my God.
If you get this, you get it Haley's way at Air One on me.
Dang it! I was gonna lob it for my last try. Let me tell you.
Wow!
Oh my gosh! What's our celebration? Did you guys hear that?
That was huge.
I get a smoothie. That was the hot shot of the day, but surprisingly, there was actually some more that happened at San Clemente. We'll talk about that hot shot after that. Look at that, guys.
That was fantastic.
You know what?
You learned a lot.
You should be the coach to the stars. Yeah.
Settle down.
Teach us next time.
You're worth the bucks.
Oh my gosh.
Hilarious. Welcome back to Pickleball Live. This is the hot shot of the day, and it goes, of course, to the birthday guy.
Tyson McGuffin, the most electrifying man in sport, known for the Ferrari forehand. But what was it today? It was that backhand flick, and the court is open. Let's go, Tyson McGuffin.
I mean, birthday boy, he's great and all, and that was really good to see. You don't see him flick the backhand side or even go to it much at all. But hate to put you on your seat there, Matt Manasse, but it's got to go to our girl Danny for the true hot shot of the day.
My goodness, did I surprise you guys?
I mean, the technique.
I'm afraid to get the technique breakdown from you, actually. I'm going to cut you off before you even get there.
There was some to be desired, but let's take a look at it. I mean, this is incredible. No one saw it coming. Look at that and the celebration.
I didn't mean to look so shocked.
It's okay.
I mean, look, we're all happy for you. Look at
shocked.
that. Look, you got that paddle face through the ball. I always like to say, pretend there's 3 balls and you're hitting through all 3 of them. You did it perfectly. I've never been more proud of a new student, Danny. Hot shot of the day.
All it takes is a couple hours with these two, and all of a sudden you're improving. Let's take a look at Friday's features matches. Cam, which one stands out to you?
Oh, you got to go the bottom one there. How are Annalie Waters and Catherine Printo going to come back after the loss tonight? And they're going up against Pisnick and Todd, who are 2-0 right now in pool play standings. So that's the one to look out for. Who can take it? I think right now they're shaking up. You could see Pisnick and Todd going 3-0. Who would have thought?
And for me, Dylan Frazier, Hunter Johnson, both 1-1 in singles. Whoever wins that is going to make it out of pool play into semifinals Saturday. Again, I'm picking Hunter Johnson. He's been the hot hand of late. We shall see tomorrow.
You better do well. That's 2 times on this show that he's picked Hunter Johnson. So he better back up what you're saying. But guess what? This crew is going to be here tomorrow, of course, after all of the matches and up for the day. But this has been fun. I appreciate it. I've learned a lot. Hopefully all of you have learned a lot.
We've learned a lot
as
from you.
well. It's been fun. Everybody, don't go anywhere. On behalf of all of us here at the Pickleball TV studios in Santa Monica, we appreciate you joining us. Make sure you come hang out with us tomorrow as well as we find out who punches their ticket into the semifinals. That is the hot shot of the day. You're welcome.